Find out everything you need to know before starting the BARF diet on your puppy. In this complete guide, you will learn how to assemble balanced meals, which ingredients to choose, how to avoid common mistakes, and ensure the healthy development of your pet. We will talk about ideal proportions of meat, bones, and vegetables, correct supplementation, hygiene care, and how to adapt the diet according to the growth of the puppy. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced pet owner, this video will give you practical, up-to-date, science-based information to transform your dog's health and vitality from the first few months of life. Watch until the end to understand how to implement the BARF diet safely and lovingly. If you want your puppy to grow up strong, healthy, and full of energy, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with other owners who love their dogs. ChatGPT said, "The first step in understanding the BARF diet for puppies is to realize that it is not just raw food, but rather a nutritional philosophy based on offering the animal what is closest to what its ancestors consumed in nature." And when we talk about puppies, every detail matters even more, because we are dealing with an organism in accelerated growth, where bones, muscles, brain, and immune system are still forming. Therefore, any nutritional error at this stage can have lifelong consequences. Many owners start BARF for puppies, motivated by the promise of more health, shiny coats, and energy to spare. But before getting your hands dirty, it is essential to understand that this choice requires commitment, study, and rigorous attention to proportions, the quality of ingredients and hygiene in preparation. Natural food for puppies needs to follow a balance between proteins, fats, low glycemic index carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And unlike adult dogs, puppies need more calories per pound of body weight, as well as higher calcium and phosphorus content to ensure that the skeleton grows strong and proportionate. In BARF, this means including raw, fleshy bones in the right amount, lean and fatty meats in the right measure, micronutrient-rich viscera, and a variety of vegetables processed in a way that the canine body can absorb. The big mistake of those who start without preparation is to assemble the dish only with meat and forget that. In nature, the entire prey contains organs, cartilage, fat, and even the contents of the stomach, which provides fiber and phytonutrients. Another essential point is adaptation. Puppies have a more sensitive digestive system, and the transition from kibble to BARF must be done carefully to avoid diarrhea, vomiting, or loss of appetite. One of the safest methods is the so-called gradual switch. Start by replacing just one of the meals with BARF for a few days, observing the puppy's feces, disposition, and appetite. When you notice that the body has responded well, you gradually increase the amount until all meals are natural. This adaptation can take from 1 to 3 weeks, and haste is the enemy of the result. Each puppy responds in a different way, and patience at this stage is essential. The tutor also needs to pay attention to the origin of the ingredients. In the case of meat and bones, it is crucial that they are from reliable suppliers, with adequate transport and storage to avoid contamination by bacteria such as Salmonella or E. coli. Although dogs are more resistant to these bacteria than humans, puppies are still building their immunity, and an infection can lead to serious complications. Therefore, hygiene is the watchword. Work with clean surfaces, exclusive utensils, to prepare the dog's food and wash your hands well after handling. Freezing meats for at least 3 days before use also helps reduce the risk of parasites, especially if you include raw fish in your diet. But why be so careful with calcium and phosphorus at this stage? The reason is that an excess or lack of these minerals can cause bone deformities. BARF solves this by balancing the ratio between flesh and fleshy bones. Generally, bones correspond to about 10 to 15% of the diet, but in the case of puppies, this value can rise slightly, always with the monitoring of a veterinary nutritionist. Raw, fleshy bones are parts such as chicken necks, wings, ribs, and bovine knees, which provide calcium naturally and safely. Never offer cooked bones, as they become brittle and can cause internal perforations. In addition to the physical structure, there is cognitive and behavioral development. A well-balanced diet favors the formation of neurotransmitters, hormones, and brain cells. Foods such as fish oil rich in omega-3 are important for neurological and visual development, helping the puppy grow more attentive, responsive, and balanced. The liver, when offered in the right amount, provides vitamins A, D, E, and K, as well as highly bioavailable iron. The common mistake is to exaggerate the amount of viscera, which can lead to diarrhea, vitamin A poisoning, and nutritional imbalances. Another point that few comment on is that puppies in BARF tend to have a more active immune system, but this also means that the body responds faster to any imbalance. Therefore, observing the quality of the stool, the breath, the disposition, and even the smell of the skin is essential. Changes can indicate excess fat, lack of fiber, or the presence of an ingredient that is not being well tolerated. Here, the tutor needs to act as a nutritional detective, adjusting ingredients and quantities according to the dog's body feedback. Weight control also deserves attention. puppies grow fast, but excessive weight gain overloads still developing joints and increases the risk of hip dysplasia in predisposed breeds. The recommendation is to weigh the puppy weekly and adjust the amount of food according to weight and body condition. On average, puppies consume between 4 and 6% of their body weight per day, divided into 3 to 4 meals. This means that a 5-kilogram puppy can eat between 200 and 5,300 grams of fresh food daily, adjusting according to the body's response. It is also necessary to remember that BARF for puppies is not a fixed recipe for everyone. Different breeds have different needs. An active border collie puppy will expend more energy than a calmer bulldog, and the diet needs to reflect this difference. Likewise, factors such as climate, activity level, and even temperament influence daily energy expenditure. This is where follow-up with a veterinary nutritionist comes in who can calculate caloric and nutritional needs accurately. Finally, before starting, it's worth making a quick checklist. Do you have access to quality meat and bones? Are you willing to prepare and freeze portions weekly? Do you have space to store food safely? Are you prepared to follow the right proportions and avoid dangerous improvisations? If the answer is yes, BARF can offer your puppy a much healthier start in life. But if the answer is no, it may be better to study a little more and get organized before taking the first step. Because when we talk about growth, every meal counts, and it counts a lot. The introduction of the BARF diet in puppies goes far beyond simply swapping kibble for raw meat. It requires planning, discipline, and detailed knowledge about the animal's developmental phases. After understanding the principles and initial care, it's time to delve into what really ensures that BARF is safe and effective at this stage of life. The precision in proportions, the diversity of ingredients, and the constant observation of the response of the puppy's body. It is at this point that many tutors get confused, believing that it is enough to follow recipes found on the internet. The problem is that each puppy is unique, and what works for one can seriously harm another. Therefore, the key to success lies in customizing the diet based on individual needs and adjusting as it grows. One of the most frequent mistakes is to keep the same amount of food for weeks or months without reviewing the calculation. Puppies double or even triple in weight quickly, and this means that the amount of food needs to be constantly recalculated. The increase should be proportional to weight and physical activity, avoiding both underfeeding, which can delay growth, and excess, which harms joints and organs. A practical example: if a 3-month-old puppy weighs 5 kilos and eats 250 grams a day, when it reaches 7 kilos, it may need up to 350 grams a day, distributed over 3 or 4 meals. Not updating this amount is a common mistake that compromises development. Another point is to understand the importance of high-quality proteins and the rotation of sources. In BARF for puppies, it is essential to vary between chicken, beef, lamb, fish, and eventually less common meats such as rabbit or duck. This diversity ensures a broader spectrum of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, preventing nutritional deficiencies. Additionally, each type of meat has a different fat profile and digestibility, which helps keep the puppy's digestive system adaptable and healthy. By including fish such as sardines or salmon, preferably previously frozen for at least 3 days to eliminate the risk of parasites, a natural supply of essential fatty acids that favor neurological development and skin health is also added. The viscera deserve a separate chapter. They are the superfood within BARF, but also one of the most delicate parts. Liver, kidneys, spleen, and heart provide micronutrients that are not found in muscles and bones, but should make up no more than 10% of the total diet. Excess, especially of the liver, can lead to hypervitaminosis A, with symptoms such as weakness, bone pain, and deformities. Alternating the types of viscera and strictly following the proportions is the best way to enjoy its benefits without risk. Vegetables, often underestimated, play a key role in BARF for puppies. While dogs don't need vegetables to survive, they do provide fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that aid in gut function and disease prevention. The key is to prepare them so that the canine body can take advantage of their nutrients, since dogs do not have the enzymes to break down cellulose efficiently. This means thoroughly grinding raw vegetables in the processor, or cooking lightly before blending into the meal. Spinach, pumpkin, carrots, zucchini, and kale are great options, but they should be introduced gradually to avoid gastrointestinal upset. Hydration is another crucial aspect. Although BARF is naturally wetter than dry food, active puppies need fresh water available at all times. It is common for dogs on a natural diet to drink slightly less water than dogs that consume kibble, since part of the hydration comes from raw food. Still, the supply must be constant and the pot must be cleaned daily to prevent the proliferation of bacteria. The timing of meals also influences nutritional use. In puppies, the ideal is to maintain regular schedules and divide the daily amount into more meals, usually 3 or 4, avoiding long periods of fasting that can lead to hypoglycemia, especially in small breeds such as Toy Poodle, Yorkshire Terrier, and Maltese. This regularity also helps with behavioral conditioning, as the puppy learns to wait for the right moment and develop self-control. And here we come to a delicate point: supplementation. Even with a well-designed BARF diet, some nutrients may need to be boosted, especially if there isn't enough variety in the ingredients. Among the most suitable supplements for puppies are high-purity fish oil to ensure adequate levels of DHA and EPA, nutritional yeast as an extra source of B vitamins, and eventually calcium or calcium phosphate, if the puppy does not consume bones regularly. However, supplementing without professional guidance can be just as dangerous as not supplementing when necessary. Finally, never underestimate the role of observation. An attentive tutor can quickly notice when something is not right. Softer or very hard stools, appetite changes, a drop in energy, excessive itching, or persistent bad breath are signs that the diet may be out of balance. The answer is not to abandon BARF, but rather to adjust the ingredients, ratios, or preparation methods until you find the break-even point. Natural food, especially for puppies, is a dynamic process that evolves along with the animal. And this is precisely its biggest advantage over industrialized food: the possibility of customizing each meal to your dog's real needs. ChatGPT said, "Reaching the final phase of the implementation of BARF for puppies means entering the refinement stage, where the owner already understands the basics, has adjusted the quantities, and knows which ingredients work best for their dog." But it is exactly at this moment that the most subtle challenges arise, those that do not appear in the first few days, but can compromise long-term health if they go unnoticed. Here, every detail in the preparation, storage, and nutritional monitoring routine makes the difference between keeping a puppy healthy and vigorous or opening gaps for deficiencies and imbalances. The first point to reinforce is constancy. At BARF, quality comes not only from the ingredients chosen, but from the regularity with which the tutor follows the correct proportions, maintains hygiene, and updates the diet according to growth. With puppies, adjustments can be weekly. After all, they change size and weight quickly, and the same portion that was ideal 15 days ago can become insufficient or excessive now. Recording weight and, when possible, performing visual and palpation body assessments helps to identify if there is inadequate mass loss or gain. Another aspect that deserves attention is the seasonality of the ingredients. Many tutors forget that the nutritional quality of food can vary according to the time of year. Fresher vegetables and meats of better origin tend to be available in certain seasons, and knowing how to take advantage of this variation to enrich the diet is a differential. For example, including pumpkin in the fall when it is more nutritious, or taking advantage of fresher fish when they are abundant, can offer the puppy an extra supply of micronutrients without relying only on supplements. Food socialization is another relevant point, especially if the puppy lives with other dogs or children at home. Maintaining a calm environment during meals avoids episodes of choking, hasty eating, or even disputes that can generate stress and behavioral problems. In puppies that eat too fast, using shallow, wide plates or even occasional manual feeding can help slow down the pace and improve digestion. When it comes to safety, the correct handling of bones is non-negotiable. Despite being an essential part of BARF, raw bones should be chosen and offered with caution, prioritizing pieces appropriate to the size of the puppy. Bones that are too large can discourage chewing, while bones that are too small can be swallowed whole and cause obstructions. Monitoring the puppy while chewing is an indispensable preventive practice, especially the first few times he receives bones. A subtle but dangerous mistake is the excessive use of high-fat foods. Puppies need energy, but too much can lead to pancreatitis, digestive problems, and early overweight. Very fatty cuts of meat should be balanced with leaner options, and the tutor should watch for signs such as yellowish, soft, or oily stools, which indicate that the digestion of fats is not adequate. In addition to physical control, regular veterinary follow-up is a pillar of this phase. Checkups every 2 or 3 months allow you to monitor growth, bone health, teething, and any adjustments in the diet. Periodic blood tests can reveal deficiencies or excesses before they manifest into visible symptoms. This preventive care not only ensures the health of the puppy, but also offers the tutor the peace of mind of knowing that he is on the right track. Another point that differentiates a well-informed tutor is the ability to interpret subtle signs of food intolerance. Persistent itching, excessive tearing, recurrent inflammation in the ears, or sudden changes in behavior can be linked to reactions to certain ingredients. In these cases, the ideal is to test the temporary exclusion of the suspect food and observe the improvement, always recording the results for future references. The preparation routine also deserves organization to avoid improvisations. Setting aside 1 day a week to process, portion, and freeze the puppy's meals ensures that, even on the busiest days, the food will be maintained with quality and safety. Using airtight jars or bags, identifying each portion with the date of preparation, and maintaining a pre-planned rotation of ingredients are practices that transform BARF into something sustainable on a daily basis. And last but not least comes the emotional factor. BARF, when well conducted, not only feeds the puppy's body, but also strengthens the bond between him and the tutor. The act of preparing food, observing its reaction to new ingredients, and tracking its healthy growth creates a connection that goes beyond nutrition. This bond also translates into trust. The puppy learns that the tutor is the source of the food that satisfies him and keeps him strong, reinforcing security and emotional well-being. At the end of the day, adopting BARF for puppies is to make a commitment to comprehensive care, which starts with the choice of ingredient and ends with the vibrant health of the animal. It is an investment of time, attention, and love, rewarded by a dog that grows strong, healthy, and with the energy to live fully. And, when done responsibly, this investment becomes the greatest gift that an owner can offer in the most important phase of their dog's life, the beginning. If you want your puppy to grow up strong, healthy, and full of energy, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with other owners who love their dogs. Leave your comment telling us about your experience with BARF. Your participation can help other tutors offer the best for their pets.